if we're talking about Kolin from AMALFI Jets, well then buckle up, folks, because this plane is about to take off. Because here's the tinfoil hat. Get the tinfoil hats out, because I'm convinced, dude. I'm convinced. I am 100% here to tell you the conspiracy theory of 2025. It started last year, but we're busting it wide open right now. Oh, and Daddy, we brought evidence. We've got evidence. We've got proof. We've got facts. We've got assumptions. And we've pretty much got every single thing we need to put Kolin away. I'm calling it right now, Kolin. It's not real.
What are we doing?
That motherfucker back there, not real. The lady on the plane who was like, went viral last year, he's not real. That guy's not real. We figured it out. She was talking about Kolin from AMALFI Jets because she saw him on a regular standard class Southwest fucking flight.
What are we doing?
The lady from last year, you saw the video, put it up on the screen.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
We now have facts and confirmation that that lady was in fact on, I think it was like either American Air or like Southwest or Spirit Airlines or something. And when she got on the plane, she locked eyes with none other than the passenger sitting in seat 3, row B. And it was none other than Kolin from AMALFI Jets. And when the numbers started turning, she's like, wait a minute, Kolin's a pilot. Kolin owns a private jet charter company. Why is he would never fly on Southwest. Why is Kolin here? And then she loses her mind. She starts to go, he's not real. He's not real. Kolin from AMALFI Jets isn't real.
What are we doing?
And I know you know who I'm talking about. It's every TikTok. It's like AMALFI Jets. This is Kolin. It's your TikTok feed 24/7, and I'm here to tell you he's not real. It doesn't exist. The company doesn't exist. Here's Exhibit A. Exhibit A, AMALFI Jets doesn't exist. Now, if you know anything about AMALFI Jets, there is a person within his office that Kolin employs by the name of Josh. Now, Josh is an employee. He's a happiness. He's a customer happiness relations person. He's supposed to get more people on the app, more people in planes. It's basically the same job that everyone else has at AMALFI. You pick up the fucking phone, you ask them where they want to go, and then you charter them a flight elsewhere so we can make 10 grand off of every phone call. That's how it works. So Josh's job is to get people on the planes, just like Kolin, just like everyone else who works for AMALFI, okay? And so what Josh did, after one lovely Friday evening, his team of 2 other guys, so Josh and his 2 buddies, Josh didn't book any flight. Josh booked 0 flights on Friday, but that's not to say that his buddy number 1, I forget his name, we'll call him Jake. Jake booked 8 flights, and Tony booked 5 flights. So that's a total of 13 private round-trip charters that Josh and his 2 underneath him employees booked last Friday. So why not go out and celebrate? And that's exactly what Josh did. Josh went out with his 2 coworkers. He said, you guys did great. We booked like 13 flights this week. Colin's going to be so impressed. Let's go to the steakhouse. Let's celebrate. Let's have a good Friday night. Josh and his 2 other coworkers end up spending upwards of $3,000 on the AMALFI Jet business credit card.
What are we doing?
Now, for those of you who don't know, 1, the restaurant that Josh and his 2 coworkers went to, their steaks and drink, like it should only be upwards, and this is generous. With the restaurant that they went to, the steakhouse and everything involved, appetizers, entree, dessert, a few drinks for everybody at max. At max, each of these boys should have only spent $300 to $400 a piece. Now, doing the math, That's about $900 to $1,500. So where did the other $1,500 worth of steaks come from, Josh?
What are we doing?
So as you can imagine, this wasn't sanctioned or approved by Kolin. He calls him into his office. He says, hey, what's up with this $3,000 steakhouse order? And he's like, oh, I took me and the boys out. We celebrated a bunch of charters we booked on Friday. And Colin's like, $3,000 worth of steaks? Like, were they cancer curing steaks? Like $3,000 worth of sides, Josh? Like, come on, bro. We've seen it before. Now, the issue is Kolin, the owner and CEO of Amalfy Jets, he's allowed. He can go out and spend $3,000 on the Amalfi credit card because it's his business. You know who can't do that? Fucking Josh.
What are we doing?
And so, like I mentioned prior in this podcast, much like Kolin, I'm also a business owner and entrepreneur, and I know other business and entrepreneurs, and I know other employees, aka pretty much everyone I know is an employee of someone somewhere. And let me bring you up to speed, folks. If you ever overcharge or spend any amount of money on a corporate card that your boss personally hands you to buy things related to the business, and you buy something that wasn't approved and was kind of personal, if not 100% personal, and you took it upon yourself to do such of a thing and use the company card to pay for it, 99% of the time, it's 100% termination every single time. I know a friend of mine, she worked for a bank. A friend of mine, her name's Sarah, she worked for a bank for years. She worked for this bank. And she you know, she's been there for 10 years. She's finally got her grasp in the industry. She gets another job offer. She gets a job offer from another bigger bank, someone who's going to pay her better, a better position at another better bank. So she goes, she gets the job there. And what are one of the benefits that comes with this lovely job at the new bank? Well, she gets a company credit card. So she needs to take a client out for a lunch, a cheap under $100 lunch, or do this, or go here, or gas while she's traveling to a meeting, or whatever that business expense situation might be, she can use it. Now, the only issue is Sarah found out the hard way that you cannot use a company card for, like, I don't know, a personal cup of coffee.
What are we doing?
And so the issue was Sarah got fired. Most people on this planet who use a corporate company credit card for their own personal and unapproved expenses, especially that of upwards of $3,000 on a dinner that a client or a potential client wasn't even attending, and it was just you and your two coworkers, aka you and your boys, Josh should have skipped straight through strike one, straight through strike two, and right to strike three. You're out. Go see HR. That's $3,000. And by the way, the story doesn't end there. Kolin got all up in his butthole looking at what else Josh has been spending money on. $1,200 a month on Starbucks.
What are we doing?
So that's Exhibit A. Exhibit A that Kolin and Amalfy Jets doesn't exist is that any other multi-million-dollar corporation like Amalfy Jets, if one of their silly goose employees were to spend $3,000 on a steak dinner, they'd be fired. You'd be fired or suspended or whatever the situation is. Not just Kolin saying, "Hey Josh, give me just give me your card. You're on. I'm not going to let you have the company card anymore. Get back to work." That's it. He gets a slap on the wrist. That's it. That's Exhibit A, B. And Exhibit B, as in bro, as in homie. Exhibit B, homie. I mean, Exhibit B is pretty much the lid off of the whole thing. The lid off of this whole thing, and what you presumably already should know, and the reason why most of you know of or have heard of or have seen Kolin and Amalfy Jets videos, McKenna.
AMALFI Jets is calling. AMALFI Jets is.
McKenna, for those of you who don't know, McKenna is allegedly, and I say allegedly because we're busting this wide open. We've got evidence right here ready to go. Ready for this? McKenna from AMALFI Jets isn't real either. Not only is AMALFI Jets one giant illusion, listen, it doesn't take more than an office space, a couple of clip-on microphones, and an iMac sitting on a desk for you to do what? For you to say you own a private jet company? Colin's on the plane, and we've got actual customers and clients. Like who? McKenna?
What are we doing?
McKenna is not real. I hate to break it to you folks, but McKenna isn't real. I've got McKenna's actual identity. McKenna's actual identity, her name is Margo. And guess what? She doesn't spell it regular, dude. And she needs to change it. Hey, Margo, change your name. It's not M-A-R-G-O like the average fucking person would spell it. It's M-A-R-G-E-A-U-X. Oh, hey, Margo, change it.
What are we doing?
Now, Margo is just like Josh. She's there to book flights for Kolin. She's there to work for Kolin. She is there to be Kolin's employee. McKenna, everyone knows, is this stuck up, presumably just daddy's girl, rich chick who spends all of her daddy's money flying from her private school in, I think, Geneva, Switzerland, somewhere in there, to pretty much all over the UK. She'll fly to Paris, she'll fly to France, she'll fly here, she'll fly there. Why? Because her best friend COCO just got a dog and now she needs one. Because someone she saw just got a Ferrari, so now she needs to drive or fly to Switzerland, private jet, one way back, one way to get matching Ferraris for her and her best friend. And by the way, Kolin needs to provide transport of those Ferraris back to her private school. And so McKenna and COCO, this whole story, this whole McKenna lore, the fact that we are supposed to believe that some girl named McKenna who's in a private school, whose father is unknown, but presumably has hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars just in the bank, ready to be spent by his daughter, is calling none other than Kolin from AMALFI Jets.
AMALFI Jets is calling.
And basically just doing her dramatic thing of flying here, flying there because of her friends, because of something she saw on Facebook, because she saw on TikTok that this one fancy little dog was in Paris, so she had to go get it. Like the reasoning behind McKenna flying private from where she is, from point A to point B, has just never sat right with me. And the way Kolin looks at the camera, this is McKenna. Look, this is an example. Can we place? Let's get some McKenna. Meet McKenna. She's not real. I'm telling you right now, she's not fucking real.
What are we doing?
So this is Kolin on the phone with McKenna. We'll get back to Margo in a minute, but this is McKenna.
Hey, McKenna, how are you?
Bien, ¿cómo estás?
Bien.
I'm wanting to fly to Barcelona.
Do you mean Barcelona?
Barcelona. It's how the locals say it, actually.
That's
You're
right.
I should have known that.
Yeah, so I'm in Geneva, and I want to go to Barcelona.
Okay, when do you want to go to Barcelona?
Probably in like 2 hours.
Oh, like today, Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of pasty over here, and I want the sun.
All right, and are you open?
That's right. It's not very bright in Switzerland where she is. So she wants to fly private round trip to Barcelona and just get a tan.
What are we doing?
And so this is McKenna. This is what she calls every week. She wants a flight every other day. Sometimes daddy doesn't have enough money in the account. Sometimes she does. Sometimes she has to call him. There was a whole boyfriend breakup saga. McKenna is just, it's a little too good to be true. So now let's take that, everything you know here. Let's listen to a little bit more about McKenna just so you can really grasp her voice.
Maybe something a little bit smaller like a super, or do you want a heavy only?
No. I only want a heavy.
Shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry. Good news. I actually have a Challenger 850 literally on the ground for 22,000 US.
Muy bien, Colin. Let's book it.
Muy bien, Colin. Let's book it. Now listen to Margo. This is Margo. This is Josh's coworker, Margo. She wasn't included in the steak dinner, unfortunately, and that's probably why she's mad. But presumably also an Amalfi Jets employee. Listen to the sound of her voice.
Hi, Margo. We're ready for your one-on-one. Pull up the chair. We're jumping in.
No, we're not doing our one-on-one. Colin, Josh has to go. He has to go. I can't take it anymore. He doesn't know how to do his job, and he just sits out there. He rides off TikToks, thinks TikToks are his job, and I can't do it.
This is McKenna.
What are we doing?
The voice is the same. The voice is the same. I'm playing them both at the same time. Listen to this. Ready, watch. Ready, watch. It's the same shit. Listen, both at the same time.
I guess I'll just
He has
dumb
to
it down
go.
for you.
I can't take it anymore. He doesn't know how to do his job, and he
Okay,
just
just
sits
one
out there. He
more.
rides off TikToks,
Yeah, I would
thinks
probably say the
TikToks
same
are his
way.
job,
And I
and I
want-
can't.
Listen to me. She sounds the exact same. I think Margo with an X is McKenna. It's Exhibit B. There's no way she's not real. Oh, and by the way, if we go to the comments, let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments of this TikTok with Margo in it, because Margo's a new character in the Malfy universe, allegedly. And so go to the comments. Oh, what do the comments say? Oh, she sounds just like McKenna. This must be McKenna. Oh, it's McKenna. McKenna was a bit. McKenna's not real. Amalfi Jets
Amalfi Jets.
isn't
What are we
real.
What are we
It's-
doing?
Amalfi Jets is called.
It's just
Amalfi
What
Jets.
are we doing?
chaos. Amalfi Jets is, and I mean, like, dude, his competitors will call him. His competitors of other private jet aviation companies will call Colin and be like, "Hey, Colin, this is Jeff over at Jeff's Aviation. I'm just wondering what you think you're doing. Am I to assume correctly that you don't actually own any jets and you're just a charter company? Because that's really putting a dent on our businesses over here."
What are we doing?
And so now, Exhibit C, we're supposed to believe that Amalfi Jets their competition is taking time out of their day. Other private jet companies they're taking time out of their day to call Colin and be like, "Hey, bro."
What are we doing?
Because he's disrupting the private jet industry. And I just don't buy it, folks. Do you think I have time as a business owner or my employees or the people I employ? Like, do you think we have time to sit here and call Webpage and Infantry and DJ this and Clot and Spart and whoever else, all of our competition? Do you honestly think, as another business, what do you think you could be doing with your time? So to come up with the fact that, hey, let's create, how do we make Amalfi Jets a real business? We create real competition that's mad at us because we're killing it on TikTok.
What are we doing?
Like, why would their competitors call, dude? Why would their competitors call that? Listen, it's as easy as an NDA. It's as simple as an NDA. I was just on the phone with my lawyers just the other day. The call cost me $2,000, but at the end of it, I got the answers I needed. Okay. All Colin has to do, all I have to do to start a TikTok and say I'm a private jet charter company is literally sit at this desk, change my backdrop, and record me talking on the phone with people. Now, to start, it's not going to be real. We're going to have to create some fake calls. But once we gain momentum like Colin, he's got real people calling. I don't think that the people calling him today are made up. I think McKenna is, and that's how they gain their popularity. And now they have actual people calling them. But what I think happens is before anyone ever gets on camera from Colin on TikTok, you just sign an NDA. You just sign an NDA.
What are we doing?
And Colin, they say, "Hey, is this Colin?" Like, this is how a phone call probably goes with Amalfi Jets. Ready? ring, 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 ring. And someone picks up and says,
Malfy Jets is calling.
and I say, hey, my name's Levi. I'm booking I need a private jet from, I think we'll do Washington, D.C. to Cancun, Mexico. We're looking to fly on this day, this day, this day. And then Colin on the other line goes, okay, Levi, great. If you don't mind, we're going to record this for our TikTok. We just need you to sign an NDA quick. I'm going to send you a DocuSign. You just type in your name. It's going to take 2 seconds. We can do it right here on the phone and it'll be done. I say, great, Colin, here's my email address. He sends me a DocuSign. I click sign because it's all you have to do on a DocuSign is just click and boom, bam. I bought this whole house in 2020 during COVID with DocuSign. Our real estate agent would send me 30 to 40 documents to sign at a time. I go click, 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 and in 2 minutes it's done. And she's like, how'd you sign all these so fast? It's DocuSign. It's digital. It doesn't matter. It's not real.
What are we doing?
And so Colin makes me sign an NDA via DocuSign on my email. I'm like, yep, Colin, I got it. It's signed. He instantly gets a notification to his email that says, Levi McCurdy just signed your NDA. And then Colin immediately blurts out the words to me on the phone. Thanks for signing that NDA, Levi. Listen, Amalfi Jets isn't actually a charter company. We're an entertainment company, and it's an experiment. We were hired by one of the biggest entertainment companies on the planet. I can't tell you who it is, but basically we're conducting multiple channels just like this. It's not just Amalfi Jets. There are multiple TikTok accounts and YouTube channels out there being ran by this company as a front for other companies so that we can create content and go viral online. Do you wish to continue the call? Yes or no? And so then it's up to me to come up with some elaborate idea about why I want to fly to Mexico and back to Pennsylvania and have to spend upwards of 120 grand on Amalfi Jets private charter.
What are we doing?
Bro, every other video of Colin, every other person who books that flight with him is being like, oh yeah, Colin, we want catering. Every flight he offers them catering, and 9 times out of 10, it's Chick-fil-A.
What are we doing?
Colin from Amalfi Jets, 98% of the time is we're supposed to believe. I am supposed to wholeheartedly believe that these millionaires and the children of thereof are booking private jets with Amalfi through Colin, and they show up on the plane spending 150, 100,000 both ways, 50,000 both ways, money that you and I couldn't even fathom. Maybe one day we'll have it, but to spend it all at once, just like that, for a 2-hour plane ride, get the fuck out. So at the end of the day, if I am spending 150 grand on a 2-way plane ride with Amalfi Jets private jet, I better not get anywhere near the smell of or the sight of that white bag with the red fucking logo on it. I swear to God, that's Exhibit D, dude.
What are we doing?
Exhibit D is the fact that Colin is feeding his clients $100,000 worth of private jet flights in 2 hours. Chick-fucking-fil-A. There's not a better restaurant on the planet, apparently, other than Chick-fil-A. The man is providing Chick-fil-A sandwiches to people spending $100,000 on a round-trip private jet to a fucking Pokemon card tournament.
What are we doing?
Folks, if this isn't one of the biggest conspiracy theories of the internet, I don't know what is. You think the government, all the conspiracy theories about the government are true. We know that now. They continuously prove them over time. We're getting the JFK files, the MLK Jr. file. Like, it's all coming to surface now that, like, oh, all that shit and government corruption, that's true. But what the real conspiracy theories are is shit like this.
Amalfi Jets is calling.
You know what I mean? And so, I don't know, bro. Amalfi Jet, Colin, call me. If you wanna defend your name, and you want to be a real company, or you just want to come out and let everyone know, let's get on this podcast. Let's do it right. Let's get in front of a camera, a real one, not somebody's iPhone. And let's, let's talk about it. Let's come up. How'd you come up with it? Because to me, it's genius. If I'm right, and I usually am on this podcast. If I'm right, it's the most genius marketing plan and execution any company has ever done. If I'm right on this, the execution of a fake private jet aviation charter company that just steals the attention of the average human being, not only for the fact that it's catchy, because every time you scroll on TikTok, you hear this.
Malfy Jets is Kolin.
Hey, Colin, it's McKenna.
And it's like, hey, bro, there they are again. What's McKenna buying now? Where's she flying now? Whose rich daddy is putting money into their Amalfi Jet One card via the new Concierge 2.0 app that just launched? Get them that for Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? If you want to get your wife the perfect gift for Valentine's Day, it's a private jet from
Malfy Jets is Kolin.
So I'm just saying, bro, if Colin's really out here flying dudes to Colombia to meet a girl who's not actually a girl, who he met on Tinder 24 hours ago because he's going to marry her because she's desperate, or some guy who wants to play laser tag on the plane, or some guy going to a Pokemon tournament, or just some girl who wants to fly from Geneva to Paris, France, just so she and her best friend can get matching Ferraris together.
What are we doing?
What do you think? Do you think Kolin from Amalfi Jets is real? Because the evidence that we have shows otherwise. Okay. So I don't know, man. I don't think we need to spend any more time. I think the evidence is there. I think him not firing Josh for $3,000 charges on the credit card that weren't approved, strike number one. Hiring the girl, McKenna, what's her name? Freaking Margo, dude. Margo is McKenna. Okay, it's that obvious. So hey, fool me once, shame on you. I was on board. I was all into the COCO McKenna drama. But now it's become blatantly obvious that,
Malfy Jets is Kolin.
isn't very real.
Malfy Jets is Kolin. Malfy Jets is Kolin.
Hey, Colin, it's
Malfy Jets is Kolin.
Hello, it's
Hi,
Bianca.
McKenna. How are you? Hi, Bianca.
Hi, so I just got an offer from HWV Air. I was,